of diet work also. I've just started it since last 3 years, and I will talk to you on diet and nutrition the healthy way. We have seen a lot of nowadays, especially a lot of cardiovascular diseases, a lot of heart attacks, high blood pressure, high cholesterol. It's become like very, very prevalent. Like in olden days, I think there was not so many reports. You do a report and mostly at least 60 to 70% people have high cholesterol. Diabetes has become very prevalent, not only in cities but also in rural areas. Many of them don't even know that they have diabetes. High cholesterol, as we know, really it comes a lot in all the reports. A lot of this is caused by obesity. A lot of it is because of genetic predisposition, but obesity is like a very big factor leading to it. There are also other diseases related to obesity, like arthritis. We know that arthritis happens because of wear and tear of joints with age. But the joints get more worn and torn with increased weight of your body bearing on the joints. So that is how arthritis is definitely caused more because of obesity. It happens at a younger age with obesity. Then there are breathing problems. I have seen in my practice people coming with what we call as sleep apnea. It is something which people have, even doctors are becoming more aware nowadays. There are people with, they are overweight with a huge thick neck, and when they are sleeping they have this breathing problem which they themselves don't know about. Their sleep gets disturbed, and how they come to know is they fall asleep during board meetings, and if you're not able to diagnose it, it goes as some kind of sometimes they even detect a neurological problem and they suspect a neurological problem, and it just goes completely off track. But it is sleep apnea, which is also because of obesity. Then there are gallstones, especially in women, stones in the gallbladder. That also is caused because of obesity. In fact, nowadays there are these new treatments happening for obesity. They have all these non-surgical lipolysis, the machines, and all your fat stores, all the adipose tissue, it gets lysed, and the fat goes into your bloodstream. It is seen that also can cause a lot of gallstones. Then cancer. Now it is proved that obesity can lead to cancer. There is a direct relation. Then there is something called idiopathic edema. Edema means swelling. Now there are people who have swellings because of various problems like heart diseases, which is very common. But there are people who have swellings of feet with no other problem, like no heart disease, no thyroid problem, nothing, but still they have swelling. Why does this happen? Because there are fat cells and fat tissue. In between the fat tissue, there are lymphatics which drain all the fluid from the tissues and take it to the bloodstream. With increased fat, the lymphatics get compressed, and that causes the less drainage of all the fluids, so that causes swellings, and that is called idiopathic edema. Such people we advise to move around, especially when they are traveling. They get a lot of swellings of feet, especially in long flights, so we ask them to move around. That is the only treatment, but basically it is obesity which is causing it. Now what is the root of all these problems? We treat the problem. Like as a general practitioner, I also keep treating all these problems every single day. I'm treating all the blood pressures with medicines. I'm treating all the heart attacks. I'm telling them to take preventive medicines. I'm treating the gallstones. Gallstones, the only treatment is surgery. Arthritis, you keep on giving painkillers. But then, is this the treatment? Is this the correct treatment? This is a symptomatic treatment. Now, what is the cause? There are causes now. Why is it so prevalent nowadays? Why is obesity so prevalent? Because there are changes in lifestyle. Previously, like the diet was very different. Now the diet is very different. Also, there is change in all small day-to-day activities. Like now there are a lot of lifts everywhere, escalators. Previously there used to be 4-storied and 5-storied buildings and no lifts. We used to climb upstairs very easily. We used to walk to work. We used to, take time just for a stroll. scrolling with friends, it was a normal thing at that time. Now I have been thinking, what can I do as a physician? How can I help these people who have all these problems? So I started studying different subjects. I did a bit of naturopathy. I studied some amount of homeopathy. Then I thought that I must get at the root of the problem. So I studied nutrition and diet planning, because I thought the good idea would be to treat the problem at the core level. So realization dawned while I was studying. I realized that understanding nutrition and diet awareness can get to the root of the problem and help you treat the core cause. But why are we worried about it now? Our parents didn't have to worry about all these things. There was not like diet planning happening every single time and everyone running to a diet person. Why is it happening now? How is it different? During my parents' generation, there was a lot of diabetes at that time also. Probably not as much as now, much less, but it still was there. But even diabetics were not aware that they need a particular type of diet. It was taken quite casually. Also, at that time, people could take a lot of ghee, dry fruits, so many preparations. Like if winter would set in, I remember as a child, we didn't really have that much winter in Bombay. But yet, as soon as winter would start setting in, we used to have I'm a Gujarati, we used to have all the parks and everything with dry fruit and everything rich. And people used to consume it and they didn't have any problem. They used to eat a lot of ghee. So that generation could handle rich food. Why they could handle and why we cannot handle? Because of certain reasons. As I told you, there were not many lifts and escalators were unheard. I remember till I grew up, probably in my college days, I saw that first time I saw an escalator. There were fewer cars. There was not so much traffic congestion that we are seeing today. People used to walk to work quite a lot. People used to even bicycle to work. People took time to walk around, to meet friends on a walk, to socialize while walking. Now there are lifts and escalators everywhere. Climbing floors has become very rare. Like I remember, I have a lot of patients, especially the younger children, say 15, 16. I like them eating well and I want them to exercise. But even though they live on the first floor and second floor, they hardly ever take stairs. Now there are cars and bikes door to door. People, if they are getting a car, they will not travel. They will not even walk up to a distance of half a kilometer. Also now they don't have time to walk around. Now we cannot do without coffee places and cha bars. Meeting always happens at Barista or TCD. Also, eating out has become very popular. We cannot do without eating out. Every other day we are meeting friends over dinner. There are meetings happening with lunch, even in offices. There are also meetings happening over breakfast, not only lunch. Also, we have so many cuisines now, cuisines from all over the world. As a child, I remember I used to just go to a nearby South Indian place and that was our eating out, family eating out. Now there are so many, then came all the Punjabi food and the Chinese, and now we have Mexicans and Italians and whatnot. Now I remember even at weddings we have Mongolian food. So we have very different kinds of cuisines from everywhere. Also people don't have time to cook. People are like, normally we have seen in families, even both the parents are working. So they don't get time. They're always on the run. People don't get time to even meet their children. They are meeting them over dinners once a week. Sunday evening dinner out is the only time that they socialize with their children. Also, we have a lot of instant food. We see so many supermarkets with all kinds of ready-to-eat foods. So we have all these quick fix meals with all sugars and fats and preservatives. Even the snacking habits have changed. Like, I remember when I was a child, we used to go to a park and we used to just have sing chana and kurmura. But now who does that? We have all the pizzas and burgers and sandwiches, french fries, and our very own instant noodles, which we cannot do without. My sister is a general practitioner in Chembur. She was telling me that mothers themselves are not aware that these instant noodles are not good for their children, because they see all the ads on TV and they start giving their children almost every single day. There are such small children who are relying on these noodles. They just throw in some vegetables and they feel it's a complete meal, which is very wrong. Yes, that's right. Also, youngsters now just don't hang around under the building. Like when I used to meet friends as a child, we would just loiter around our compound and we used to talk and chat and have a good time. Whereas now it's just either over coffee or over pastries or something high cal. Also, people are too busy. There are high stress levels at work. At the end of the day, they are so tired. They're too tired to exercise. They just don't want to do anything but watch TV. They just want to chill. They want to put their feet up and have a nice drink. Nobody has an energy for a jog. And people cannot make it early in the morning for a walk. Sorry? Yeah. That is true, but you know what happens is you must have seen a set of people who have kind of adapted a regular lifestyle. But there are so many people who work late nights. Nowadays you see youngsters also, their hours are so erratic. So they cannot make it early enough for a walk. In fact, nowadays offices also have such flexible hours of work. My own daughters are working and it is completely fine if they work. They go like almost close to lunchtime and then they work late up to evening. So now everything is changing. See, there are definitely a set of people. I myself live on Marine Drive and I walk in the morning and Marine Drive is full of people. I'm not saying that there are not people who are walking, but I'm saying every person cannot do that even if we wish to. Sorry? It is now happening. It is now happening. I will come to it. I'll come to it. And then we can have a question answer session at the end. So now where is the problem? As you said, people want to be healthy. People want to eat right and people want to keep well. But people don't know how to. And they are not to blame. What happens is we are fed with all kinds of information. Too much information sometimes also confuses. We are fed with information about what is good and what is bad. But then it confuses us. Because one day red meat is good and pasta is bad. Next day we see in the papers pasta is good and red meat is bad. One day chocolate is very good. It contains all isoflavones and antioxidants and it's good for the heart. And the other day the papers say that you shouldn't have chocolate. Similarly with coffee. One day they say that 1 cup of coffee is good to prevent colon cancer. And the next day they say that coffee is bad for the heart.